Good morning, what's good, my people? Nice to have you back on my channel. Happy to talk to you. Um, yeah, today I don't have a specific message. It's just a talk to summarize where we're coming from and where we're going to. You know, everybody is on a journey, and you cannot make a single step for me, and I cannot make a single step for you, which means we are independent individuals, okay? And we understand that things like codependency hold us back, or it is just simply not for us. We don't even have to go so far to judge other people for being or living in dependencies. But from a certain point of view, when you learn to be comfortable and confident in living in solitude, which does not mean being alone. You know, you can feel very connected while living in solitude and at the same time standing up, living, taking care for your loved ones. Um, but from this point of view, the structures and dependencies that some people live in really look kind of grotesque, or just in a way that when we made certain experiences, these are imprints that we carry, and these things just don't attract us anymore. You know, it's the opposite. We at no price in the world we ever want to go back to these. These are, by the way, how is it called in biology? Uh, it's called symbiosis, right? A symbiosis means that two partners going into a relationship where they exchange certain things. And while this can be successful in life and in nature, I find it a form of relationship that I don't want to experience ever again. Symbiosis, okay? It's for human beings. My point of view is that these are toxic. But everybody can make his own judgment about this and experience. Now, anyway, we on a journey, and we've come a long way. We made experiences, and yeah, I'm really thankful also for all the development that is always happening. We never arrive somewhere yet. There are breakthroughs, there are perceived shifts and changes, but we need to understand we're always within this change, and it's very healthy, by the way, to be independent of others and understand that you can make a step for me. You cannot make a step for me, and I cannot make a step for you. We are not in this competitive mode. We made these experiences. A lot of people try to mess with your mind, make mind games by competing with you secretly, and you didn't even know it. You were not in a competition, and suddenly they start celebrating and even kind of laughing in your face and pretend, you know, to celebrate over some victory they made, and you'll be like, you know, these persons, actually, you need to get to the point where these people act on their stage of self-absorption, and don't react to them, you know. If you don't react to a behavior like this, They are acting alone with no audience. So you need to understand you are very important. When people try to play games with you and attack you, then you are the audience and they need your attention. So don't give it to them if you are not the main person, if they don't respect you, okay? Um, yeah, so I want to emphasize on this of this healthy distance between people as a basis of mutual respect and an non-combative way to see each other and give praises to the progress or the achievements that the other person made without competing with that person. So, this is a healthy way of communicating and living together, and it's not possible with people who are blind for this. So, this is you need to become selective with who you surround yourself with. You need people who are not in a competition with you. You need people who wish the best for you, and yeah, makes sense. But we need to learn this in some cases, right? Yeah, and also I want to encourage you to not try to be perfect. I always say on my channel we have these three parts that create our experience, and that is the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. So we are a trinity, or our experience is the result of this trinity, whether we are aware of it or we deny it. We can even deny the nature of this trinity and still live, but then we have less access to shape our reality and experience. Um, and I want to encourage you to not thrive for perfection. The thing is, we are bound to our physical vessel, to our body in this world, and there is not such thing as perfection. Um, And to our body, the mind is bind. So our mind is not perfect as well. And when we start living, or when we are naively living in an innocent and virtuous way, when we have a natural feeling of conducting our behavior in morally and ethically agreeable way, because we're acting simply from the principle of love, equality, mutual respect, and we know that real communication is a process that goes both ways and has an open outcome that is not predefined or pre-framed, and so on and so on and so on. Then when we put this in words and speak of virtues such as being honorable, or being loyal, or whatever we call it, these things have the danger to imply perfection on us. So we are perfect in this, or we're perfect in this. No, we not. So it's good to have goals, having a direction, having virtues. It's good to be educated. The power of words gives you a lot of power to lead yourself by understanding and making distinctions between a lot of virtues, a lot of ethical codes. Knowing yourself, or just the knowledge of it, gives you the ability to take a very distinct path, or make retrospectively sense of your experience, the last few steps on your path that you took. Based on your understanding, you give sense to that what happens and unfolds to you retrospectively. Um, and also, the power of words and knowledge gives you a lot of control over the things that happen to you. Because if you can call out something that was dangerous or frightened you, when you can give it a name, you know the mental background of it, you know the physical background of it, and you know the spiritual background of it. You know, um, let's say you can call it, okay, this is in the mental way, this is I call this a covert narcissist. I call this in the spiritual the spirit of pride. So it's a Luciferian spirit, or it's a Leviathan spirit, or however you call it. It's this kind of spirit. And you know the psychological background, of course. I told you covert narcissists, and you know all the background, how they act, why they act the way they do. You know the spirit and the backgrounds of this spirit, and you know the physical background too, which means you even know about the body chemistry. What does this to the body chemistry of this person? So you can fully understand why they act the way they act. This gives you the power to understand both the deep difference between you and them. It gives you the power to cultivate that what is the difference, because this is what makes you a human being. And you don't want to be the same. You don't want to reciprocate this. You don't want to mirror that. You don't want to go eye for eye, cheek for cheek. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, these things give you a lot of power, but don't make the mistake of thriving for perfection. So this is just my point of view for this topic. Everybody is unique. This is the entry point of this talk today, was that we're not in a competition. We should not copy each other. We can be inspired by each other. And it also means that that there is no need to fulfill a picture of perfection, okay? But again, this is just my opinion. Everybody cultivates its own expression of virtues. If you choose to live a virtue, you show what you understand. What is your picture of this virtue? What is your picture of, if you if you identify yourself with the virtue of honor, or another virtue, or honesty, or whatever, or you say, I want, I think about being masculine and what does it mean, or if you are a woman, or if you think about what does it mean to be feminine, what is the virtue in this, how do I want to conduct and express this into the world. Each one of us is growing and representing an individual own expression of these archetypes and virtues. And this is why we're not in a competition, and we just show each other our own expressions, right? So I want to encourage you, keep on going, but don't look for any picture of perfection. Understand that what you are growing is growing out of that unique shape and seed and code that is you. And so their perfection is just a wrong concept for the real world. So be strong, be educated, have direction, but don't look for perfection. Thank you for all my subscribers. Thank you for all the feedback. And I hope to see you in the next video.